it's time for your main event of the evening. This is 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner, Chachi Tabor.
I mean, here at USFFC29, it's been amazing trying to outdo each other with every fight, but it just seems to happen time and time again. Chachi Tabor, here is a highlight I want you to look at, because this guy is one of the tallest 125-pounders in the business, and he's good at using it. He uses his range. He's not just good at striking, but he also has a great ground game. Here's Chachi with a clinched up guillotine choke. Long, rangy legs and arms, very conducive to triangle chokes and subs from the back. Chachi Tabor steps up to fight the hometown hero, Jared "Psycho" Scoggins. I mean, here you see him, very skilled, able to use his jiu-jitsu and his range. He's got speed, he believes in himself. All the way from Pennington Gap, Virginia, is Chachi Tabor. This fight was supposed to happen a while back, actually, but some stuff came up and it didn't. But that didn't leave a bad taste in the mouth of both competitors who wanted at each other and have wanted at each other since that day. Here's the fan poll. Jared "Psycho" Scoggins leads Chachi Tabor 66% to 34%, but that's the fans speaking, and there will be no fans helping them in the cage tonight. You can hear the chants of Scoggins happening in the background. To match the chants of Tabor, both fighters have a lot of love here in the Spartanburg Mariott for USFFC29, which has been a historic night of mixed martial arts action so far.
And now his opponent, fighting out of the red corner, Jared Scoggins.
Jared the "Psycho" Scoggins. Yet to taste defeat in his mixed martial arts career, he is 4-0. You're going to see why here in just a second. Look at some of the past fights Jared Scoggins has had. No stranger to the USFFC cage. He's built his career here so far. You can hear the fans screaming. Look at the speed of Jared Scoggins' kicks and punches and takedowns. He mixes them all together flawlessly. Jared Scoggins epitomizes the idea that speed kills. All his opponents so far have just been completely confused. They feel like they're fighting 3 guys in there. I've literally heard people say that. When you're fighting Jared Scoggins, it feels like you're fighting 3 guys in there. As soon as you turn one way to find him, he's in the other spot. And so far, to be honest, no one has really tested him. No one's really given him a hard test. He's had some tough fights, but no one's really stolen too many rounds away from him. I expect Chachi Tabor to be that test that he wants and is looking for. He comes from a family of fighters. And you can tell, I mean, not just a family of fighters in his own family, but his family at the training camp of Revolution Mixed Martial Arts, Jimmy the Prowler Fowler, Trent Goodell, and the rest of the gang there to bring him along the way.
And now, time for your main event of the evening. Ladies and gentlemen, from beautiful Spartanburg, South Carolina, the time for talk is over. It's time to knuckle up and throw down. 3 5-minute rounds in the flyweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He weighed in at 127.5 pounds with a professional record of 1 win, 0 defeats. Fighting out of Iron Lock MMA, Pennington Gap, Virginia. He is MMA's bad boy, Chachi Tabor. And now his opponent, fighting out of the red corner. He weighed in at 127.5 pounds with a professional record, undefeated, 4 wins, 0 defeats. Fighting out of Revolution Martial Arts, Enmity, South Carolina, I give you Jared Psycho Scoggins. Your referee, Blake Grice.
Gentlemen, you know the rules. I do expect a clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Protect yourselves. If you want to touch gloves, do it now. Let's go.
No glove touch. Let me tell you right now, there was not much respect at all shown between these two fighters at the weigh-ins or the face-off. No glove touch. This fight is underway. The main event here at USFFC29. Jared Scoggins, Chachi Tabor.
And here we go, Matt. Hey, this is a big fight. This is a really big fight. Chachi Tabor 1-0. Of course, Jared Scoggins 4-0. That means one of these pro O's has to go.
And this is what I was saying earlier, Cyrus, is that Jared has yet to fight a guy that has really tested his mettle, stolen rounds away from him. I expect Chachi Tabor to perhaps be the toughest fight of his career so far.
Very well could be. You know, Chachi Tabor has fought a lot of guys in Southwest Virginia, very close to where I'm at, for a lot of promotions in my area. And he seems just to take people out one by one. Had developed an amazing amateur record. Then had an issue with the state of Kentucky, some sort of infraction, and he had to be suspended for a year. So he had to sit out for a year, which was very tough on him. He wanted to fight very badly, but he did his time, and he's back out there. He got a win under his belt, and now he has the biggest fight of his career in Jared Scoggins. So conversely, both biggest fights of their careers.
Absolutely
right?
The case, no doubt about that. Chachi Tabor, probably the tallest guy that Jared's had to face inside this cage, and so far using his range to a good, a good effect. Jared unable to close the distance so far, but this fight is early.
You know, if at any time Jared Scoggins feels like Chachi Tabor isn't on his level, he's going to pounce. And right now, he's just kind of testing him out, testing his range. But look for that explosiveness of Jared Scoggins to kick in quickly. He moves so quick.
Chachi Tabor really going to the leg kicks a lot here, maybe trying to chop out the tree there, the two trees of Jared's legs.
Sure.
That didn't come out too well, did it?
No, but it's okay. You're thinking of Tanner again. Tanner's tree care,
There was
legendary.
too much trees talk there at the end.
Too much trees.
Chachi Tabor doing a good job pulling out the jab, creating distance.
Here's the problem. I think Chachi Tabor has a good opportunity to use his jab, and he's not. He's not committing to it, and he's not really putting it all the way out there and extending all the way. I don't know if he's worried about a takedown or worried about the counter-punching, but Chachi Tabor has that range if he wants to use it.
Both guys showing respect, okay? You know, this is one of those things where you've got both guys are really showing a lot of respect. Jared changing stances up. That caught his mark.
Well, that was a big shot, wasn't it? That was a nice kick to the solar plexus there, right there.
One thing you can tell by watching
chest.
Jared Scoggins is his confidence and his speed. He never even brings his hands up to his face.
Beautiful combination there in the flurry, and there it is.
That was an incredible takedown.
Chachi Tabor has great submissions, but is it on the same level as Jared Scoggins? I don't know. This is where we find that out, right? That's why they do this inside the cage.
Scoggins transitioned from striking to the takedown very quickly there, Cyrus. He was able to make that switch up happen almost immediately. As the human eye can barely even detect it. It just went from punching to takedown.
Well, that's what we talked about in our preview when we kicked this show off, is that how quick Jared Scoggins really is. And we joked about it, about fighting 3 people at once. I mean, that's how quickly he moves around. I mean, it's pretty incredible. So, yeah, I mean, he's the favorite in this fight. On paper, he should win, but you never want to discount somebody that's as young and tough as Chachi Tabor.
With the hands that low, that tells me Jared, there's no one faster than him. He doesn't think Chachi has any speed advantage on him. He can get out of the way of Chachi's punch. He doesn't have to block him. He can dodge him. He doesn't need to put his hands up, so he never does.
He just great lateral movement, stays on his toes. Jared Scoggins is a step ahead right now. And he's playing the long man's game. He's not rushing into anything. But I think when his coaches let him know, okay, time for a takedown, he goes and gets it. So
that was a pretty nice little leg kick dodge / side kick. You don't see that often. Great technique from Jared Scoggins. And you know, interestingly enough, Jared seems to be maybe winning these battles that are, between 2 guys on the outside. And Jared's not trying to get inside on the rangier guy. He's staying on the outside and doing well.
I think significant strikes go to Jared Scoggins right now. He's had a lot of side kicks to the body and nice strikes out there. Maybe you don't remember them, but they are landing. Oh, and a beautiful right hand, the way he just snuck in there.
Chachi answered and landed a strike of his own. Doesn't happen that much against Jared.
No, and of course we know his brother Justin is firmly entrenched there in the flyweight division of the UFC. He's had some big victories, and this is Jared's time, and every fight is so important. Every fight is just as important as the last, because that means one step closer to his ultimate goal. And so he has to take every opponent very, very seriously.
Like you said it, every fight is the most important fight. If you're trying to make it to the next level, those L's can hurt. And Jared Scoggins not looking to get one tonight, but neither is Chachi Tabor. And he gets taken down. That's going to be probably a good first round win for Jared Scoggins.
Sure, yeah, he definitely didn't steal it. He took that round. And yeah, at any time it seems like he can get that takedown.
There was a lot of emotion, and not the good kind, between these two and the weigh-in, Cyrus Fees. I mean, they were in each other's face, pushing each other, and I'd actually not seen Jared get like that before. I think that both these guys have a little extra reason not to lose this fight. Given the background of the history that they were supposed to fight, they want this bad.
Well, you know, he goes by MMA's bad boy, this Chachi Tabor, and he does have a little attitude, and he's not going to come into a fight and not say anything, especially when there's a guy so vaulted around here like Jared Scoggins, and I don't blame him. I mean, you want to make yourself stick out, and that's what Chachi's doing right now. He's making things interesting. He's not just another opponent. And it's sitting at 1-0. This is a big fight for him to stay undefeated.
It's a huge fight.
It really is.
He's a tall featherweight, you know, or excuse me, flyweight at 125 pounds. Very tall. I'm going to guess maybe 5'9", 5'10", maybe.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you this, man. This is very important to him. We happen to live in our area, and especially in his area. It's a very poor part of Virginia. I mean, this is his life. This is what he does. This is a big opportunity for him through fighting to take his life to another level. So everything counts here. He does have a great camp. Jason Coomer and the whole group over there in Pennington Gap and Coburn. So, yeah, so I know there's a lot of people in that area that are tuned into Flow Combat right now watching this fight if they didn't make the travel.
Scoggins definitely earned the respect of Tabor, who doesn't want to get too close to Scoggins now.
He's moving around very nicely, is Tabor. But it just seems like when Jared wants to take it up a few notches, he kind of gets what he wants. And that's what we saw in the first round.
And I got to say that I think Jared is doing a good job of making this fight go at his pace. He's not losing many points, but he's not really dominating his opponent, but he's making the shots count where they are, like that.
He's sticking his head out there, Matt.
He does.
I mean, he puts it out there, and he's not at all worried about the striking of Chachi Tabor, and I don't know if that's necessarily a good thing. I know he's quick. We know how fast he can dodge, but you never want to leave your chin out that far.
Well, you know, I agree, but then you got guys like Jared and his brother Justin and Stephen Thompson, who does the same thing. He holds his hands down. We saw it. I mean, it's a karate-style thing, and it throws your opponents off guard. I mean, I guess it's a double-edged sword. On one side, you're vulnerable to shots. On the other side, you open up new opportunities.
Well, we remember with their bases where they started out with Ray Thompson and Upstate Karate and Pitch Black. That's where they've got their start before they moved over to Revolution. And, of course, Stephen Thompson, of course, stayed because that's his father. But these guys moved on to Revolution, but that's still their base. That's still where they came from as kids. So, I mean, that's where they're going to go with it.
And that's, a little-known Snapple fact to some observers that are listening to this broadcast, that Stephen Thompson and Justin Scoggins used to be training partners for a very long time.
Yeah, 100%. I remember calling Justin Scoggins in one of his first fights where he absolutely knocked out Devin Rodriguez straight to the floor up in Kingsport, Tennessee, and how special I thought he was then. Little did I know he'd be making it to the UFC.
Yep.
So now Jared's trying to follow in those footsteps, and I think he's well on his way.
Another fun Snapple fact, I announced Stephen Thompson's and Justin Scoggins' first MMA fight ever the same day at the Bilo Center in Greenville, South Carolina about 6 years ago.
Okay, you beat me.
Oh, I wasn't going for the beat. That was not what I was aiming for, but just kind of an ironic statement. You know, it's funny. We live here and we do so much in the sport, and you see these guys that we used to be around at the early age make it to the highest levels. It's great.
No, it really is. It's a pleasure to do that. I mean, there's so many fighters over the years that I called in Tennessee that have gone on to some great things, and every time it happens, it just makes me smile that I could be a part of their career. So yeah, I feel the exact same way, and we could be seeing that with a bunch of guys on this card. Dylan Collett, Tanner Saraceno, Both of these guys have that talent.
Yeah,
so.
Jay Boyd, you know, I mean,
yeah,
Hannah Rockala. I mean, we can go down.
Yes.
There's so many people on the USFFC roster, and these two guys right here putting on an amazing performance. Jared Scoggins really piling it on right now from the top position.
Yes, he is, and he is in such a dominant position, but Chachi Tabor, watch out. He has those long, lanky legs, and if he can wrap that around, there's a good chance he can maybe catch Jared. Jared's going to be ready for anything, training under a guy like Jimmy Fowler, who's an absolute master on the ground. But that being said, anybody can get caught. I mean, it happens to every fighter. So he has to watch it.
Now, you know, Chachi has done a good job so far of not taking too much punishment. I mean, he's been taken down a couple times and eaten a couple of punches, but Scoggins unable to really dominate him, which is what we normally see Scoggins do. I hope that Chachi Tabor can muster up some type of offense, because I want to see Jared tested as he makes his way up the ladder, you know. And so far, a lot of guys have been unable to do that, and that's part and parcel because Jared Scoggins is such a great fighter.
Yeah, I mean, we remember the fight with Josh Smith, the Jabberwocky. They went all 5 rounds. That was a really tough fight.
That was.
That showed a lot of grit on the shoulders of Jared Scoggins and what he's made of. But you're right. I mean, when you move up to the professional ranks, I mean, these guys are no joke. Every opponent's very, very good, especially here in the USFFC. They never serve them up a can. It just doesn't happen.
Don't. Many of the crowd on their feet here tonight for the main event at USFFC29. Jared the Psycho Scoggins on top and dropping bombs down onto his opponent, Chachi Tabor. Self-proclaimed bad boy of MMA. Here we are, 30 seconds left to go in round number 2.
Chachi Tabor unable to get those legs moved up there towards the head to make something happen, and he resets and gets back into position and right back into the guard is Jared Scoggins, where he's dominated this fight. He has landed some ground and pound. He stayed busy, and we're seeing it again.
And Chachi Tabor keeps going back to that body triangle from guard. I'm not sure why he's doing that. You know, that tells me he likes where he's at. He's good staying where he's at, but he doesn't need to be there. He needs to be opening up that guard, not the body triangle, like the body lock like that.
Well, now he's up against the wall, Matt. He's going to have to go for broke here in this 3rd round because he's undoubtedly, in my eyes, down 2 rounds. So.
You got to think that, yeah. You got to think that he's in a spot where he needs to finish his opponent, and finishing Jared Psycho Scoggins just cannot be an easy thing to do.
No.
Chachi Tabor is so far just been unable to answer the speed, and that's just always the case, isn't it? It's the speed of Jared Scoggins that people can't deal with, and you see him keep his hands down by his waist because he's not worried about anybody having what it takes to punch him. Yep. He's not worried about it because he knows he can dodge it, you know. The 5 rules of dodgeball, I forget them, but he's like...
Duck, dive, dodge.
If you can dodge a wrench...
And dodge.
That's it. I think that was it. And duck.
I don't even...
Oh, wow. Man. Jared,
what a night it's been.
What an incredible... This has been... I got to say, Cyrus, this is what I would call a historical night in the state of South Carolina for mixed martial arts. And I say that as someone that's been through many, many fights in this state. This one definitely is going to leave a mark. I mean, I'll never forget.
I mean, you called Justin Scoggins and Stephen Thompson's fight in the same night. You announced
I did.
I mean, that's the fact.
That was a wild night. That was a wild night.
Video right there, buddy.
I do have it on video. But I tell you what, this one is taking the cake. Great display of sportsmanship between 2 guys that were kind of at each other a little bit. Touching gloves in the 3rd round. I love it.
3rd and final round. Here we go. Chachi Tabor have any sort of answer for Jared Scoggins? I don't think he's going to, but he may show us something here, and I hope that he does. Jared just seems to be totally in control, and he's still moving around so nimbly around that cage. It's really impressive.
He doesn't show any signs of slowing down. The cardio is through the roof.
I'd still like him to get those hands up, but
I know it's just
it makes you nervous no matter how good a fighter is, you know. But
he knows better than we do, you know. He knows what's good for him.
He knows his body, he knows what he can do, and he knows how quick he is, and we're seeing this right before our eyes.
You know, normally you hear coaches yelling, "Get your hands up!" None of the above from Jimmy Fowler and the gang sitting next to us.
And there you go. I mean, just like that, just
like that.
Chachi Tabor has to go after it right now. If you're going to go for a triangle, you better try it now because that was your best chance in the scramble, and Chachi's not willing to do it. Oh, there we go. Oh,
he's working his legs up, looking for that. I mean, that's what he has to do at this stage in the game.
He has to hold on to that arm. He's going to have to trap that arm and then work those legs up. And easier said than done with the guy with the power and the athleticism of Jared Scoggins.
Almost 3.5 minutes left to go here in the main event of the evening. The crowd is on their feet here in the venue at USFFC29. Jared Psycho Scoggins controlling his opponent from top. Chachi Tabor desperately trying to pull his legs up for a sub as he is down now 2 rounds to 0. And gonna need a finish here to turn it around tonight. Jared Psycho Scoggins having none of it so far.
On top, handling business, punishing is Jared Psycho Scoggins. You're watching all of this on Flow Combat. This is the #1 outlet on the internet to watch fights, and they have an incredible service. They deserve all the credit. I love what they're doing. They've built a great roster of promotions.
Yep.
And I think the best regional promotion in the country is right here at USFFC.
I'm with you, brother. What a blessing it is for us to be able to sit here cage side and watch this go down. Jared Psycho Scoggins and Chachi Tabor. Tabor's got to dig deep into the bag of tricks here, Cyrus V's. He's got to find strength deep down inside himself to muster up a way to get out from underneath Jared Psycho Scoggins as we have 2.5 minutes left to go in the fight.
Right in front of us, and Jared Scoggins is just posturing up, getting a few strikes off, but Chachi Tabor doing a good job of isolating and trying to trap that arm. A warning from Blake Grice on the back of the head. You've got to watch that. Sneaking strikes in, crafty striking, beautiful body headshots. One after another, picking apart Chachi Tabor.
A lot of toughness shown here by Tabor, who is deflecting most of the brutality of these shots, but they are still finding their way through. And with 1:40 left to go in the round, Tabor now has his back proverbially and literally up against the wall, needing to do something to turn this fight around as the clock ticks down.
Big shots there right to the ear. I mean, just really racking the head of Chachi Tabor. And it's really up against the wall here with 90 seconds left for Chachi. He's just in a really bad spot. And Blake Grice wants to see more, and I think he's getting it. More elbows. That just lit the fire under the Psycho, Jared Scoggins.
Scoggins answering the call. Open palm strikes. Elbows. He's just unleashing everything in the arsenal onto Chachi Tabor, who is so far unable to answer this onslaught of strikes from Jared the Psycho Scoggins. Over here in his own corner, listening to some easily heard advice from Jimmy the Prowler Fowler. Everything going right for Scoggins, nothing going right for Tabor.
Jared Scoggins just ticks away the time here, showing his durability, showing his stamina. He has not let up 1 second. It has been one gear the entire time for Jared Scoggins, and I'll tell you what, that should breathe a little fear into any flyweight out there in this region or even close to the South, because this guy he's for real.
I tell you what, Scott Price has his job cut out for him to find another opponent for this guy. Might want to not put this video up or something, you know. Might want to keep the videos to a minimum. 10 seconds left in round 3 of the main event here at USFFC 29. Jared Psycho Scoggins, Chachi Tabor. This one is going to the judges' scorecard.
And that's it. And they win all 3 rounds. That was a war. That was a battle. Those two guys definitely respect each other, respect each other's game, no matter the trash talk, no matter the hype. And it was just another example of how good Jared Scoggins really is. He ran laps around him, and he got the takedown at will. He's going to need to be tested even more. And like you said, I mean, Scott Price and Molly Hoskinson are going to have to really dig deep and search to find somebody that can really push this kid to the next level. I think he still might be another fight away for making a jump to a UFC, but, man, he's dangerously close, isn't he?
No doubt about that. I mean, they really are going to have a tough time, I think, finding someone to test this guy. I mean, it's just he hasn't shown a single solitary flaw in his game that can be exploited. I mean, we you know, in jest we say maybe he should keep his hands up. Of course he shouldn't. Look how good he does without doing that. Of course he shouldn't listen to us for a minute. I mean, here is a guy on his way to the highest level of mixed martial arts. His family's done it. He's going to do it. I believe that. And like Cyrus said, and I said before that, Scott Price has got a tough job. Not just finding someone to test him, but finding someone that will be willing to fight him. That can be tough to do in the game. But that's why he's the promoter and I'm the commentary guy. I have the best job here. There's no doubt about that. Big thank you to the USFFC for letting me do it. Big thank you to Cyrus Fees for being here and helping me as my broadcaster, my broadcaster partner. Big thanks to all the judges, staff, and referees.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, they went the distance. Make some noise for both of our very tough competitors tonight. After 3 hard-fought rounds, we go to the scorecards. All 3 judges see this fight 30-27. For your winner by unanimous decision, Jared Psycho Scoggins.
Jared Psycho Scoggins gets the win. There you see the Revolution Mixed Martial Arts family in there to support him. You got the fight doctors, Chris and Ari. You got all the coaches. The kids
Jared,
are in there.
Right over here to this camera. Congratulations on the victory. That makes you 5-0 in your professional career. Talk about your opponent. He talked a little bit leading up to the fight. Did that give you a little bit more motivation coming into it?
You know, I go into every fight, whether they're talking or not, looking to dominate. So it just adds, the fans like it. So thanks for him for putting on a show.
Did you want to finish? I'm sure every fight you want to finish. Were you a little disappointed you couldn't put him away before the last bell?
Yeah, anything less than perfection isn't okay with me. So I'm going to get back to the gym, back to the drawing board, and see y'all next time.
Okay, that being said, with next time, what is next for you? Obviously, we'd love to see you here with USFFC. What do you feel is next for Jared Scoggins?
You know, I got to go back, talk to my trainers, talk to my team, and we'll go from there.
There it is. Who do you want to thank?
I want to thank all these people that came out. I wouldn't be here without you guys. I want to thank my team, Revolution Martial Arts, the fight doctors, all you guys. I love you.
There it is, guys. One more time for Jared Psycho Scoggins. And that is it for us, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us here in Spartanburg at the Spartanburg Mariott. Make sure to check us out on all of our social media outlets for information on the monumental USFFC 30. We will be dropping that info to you very, very shortly. Thank you so much for coming out, and we'll see you next time.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, what an amazing night of fights. I mean, this one has to go down as one of the best cards that's ever happened in South Carolina. I've been in almost every one here in the upstate. This one got to take the cake, at least top 5, no doubt about it. What an amazing opportunity it's been to be cage side here and watch all this go down right in front of me. The Revolution Mixed Martial Arts family celebrating the main event winner, Jared Scoggins. We got the fight doctors in the house, and hey, Cyrus Fees, what an amazing job. It's an honor to work alongside you as well.
We're right up there. No, it was a fantastic time, Matt, and yeah, I just enjoyed calling it and announcing it. It was so much fun.
That's tough to do, man.
Even though I hear Scoggins through my head for at least 3 or 4 days, it will not go away. I'm very proud of Jared Scoggins, and I think he's on his way. And like you said, I mean, I think maybe 1 or 2 more fights and we see him all over our televisions.
Well, we have more fun than a couple of MMA fans should be allowed to have here at Cage Side. Thank you to everyone that came out tonight. Thank you to Scott Price, the man himself, for putting this all together. Nothing's possible without the promoter. Thank you to FlowCombat.com, and of course all the people that decided to tune in and watch the fight there. We love doing this, and we can't wait to see you guys next time at USFFC 30. Matt Tomlinson, Cyrus Fees, signing out.